Hi, everyone. Mondion Astral Oracles. Good to be with you. And thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. And thank you for being here. I'm coming to you from a hotel room in Lisbon, Portugal, where I arrived late last night. Or that was in a different hotel room, but now I'm in this one. And it's a lovely city. And of course, I very much enjoyed getting some actual sun again today. So that also lifted the mood a bit. But it's also been an arduous journey getting here, and not to Portugal in particular. That went smoothly, but. I've been in Denmark, and it's been grey and drizzly, and I've been spending time with family, and this year it's been that way, that I've been away for some months, and then been home, and sort of been confronted with my family, and then uh, ran away to Mexico and went home again, and I feel like I've grown a bit. From it every time, and maybe you know that quote by Ram Dass, that if you think you're enlightened, go see your parents, which of course speaks to the fact that well, these people just have a tendency to really reflect well, the sides of us that we find the most difficult to cope with, and really push our buttons in a way that doesn't necessarily bring out the sensation in all of us. So it's been challenging, but what I also feel is that this journey, testing as it may be, lines up with a lot of the collective energies, and so in these energies, or in these energy updates, what the Arcturians are doing is, of course, reading into the collective energies of the people who are interacting with this message, and the human collective in general. But I also, of course, feel like it's always like their starting point is my own emotional state. And in the last message, they talked about re-examining the past, and it's been my impression from communicating with people all over that there's been like a lot of this energy going around of people feeling kind of stuck in old patterns that were still being reactivated, and they thought they might have shed them, but then again, there you are experiencing those unwanted dynamics, and I also know, of course, for our American friends, it's been Thanksgiving, and I know geographically the way your culture is structured is also that you often live very far away, so you have to spend days on end with your family once you go visit them, and that's of course challenging, I think, in most cultures, and especially, of course, in societies where we've gotten used to sort of moving away from our family unit, and then building our own, or doing our own thing, and then being confronted with those sort of claustrophobic dynamics can be hard. But what I also feel, both personally and collectively, is happening is also that it's very much an opening that's going on. So we're moving into a period where all this shedding and re-examining is sort of being put to good use in also being able to or allowing us to then define more clearly where it is we want to go, and what we would actually like from ourselves and our experience in this lifetime. So without further ado, that was just a little update on my own journey, and let's bring in Umblam and the council, and see what they have to say about December. And I hope you are doing well, and dealing with the winter season over there here on the northern hemisphere. So much love to you guys. Hello, dear human beings. This is Umblam of the Arcturian Council, coming to you from the ninth dimension, to shed some light on what you can expect from this coming cycle of your time, December, on this year of your time, 2021. See, our friend here, he was explaining how he himself had been undergoing some changes. Well, what were these changes? They were changes of a sort of purifying or deep cleaning sort. That is, you will notice that the energies have begun to move really deep into stuck issues within your private lives. Well, for many of you, this is quite the positive vantage point, as you may have arrived at that point from a place where you feel you have also organically moved into a different space. You would like something new to happen, and you are ready to part ways gradually with the life and the circumstances that have, well, surrounded you so far. And so there may be new things you are attracting into your life. But for many of you, this also appears as more chaotic upheavals. You may experience that certain things are not necessarily falling apart, but rather impeding your progress. So you have this sense of the past becoming active and thereby blocking your movement into the future. Well, this is a troubling predicament to find yourself in, isn't it? See, well, if the past is building a barrier and you are not able to move into the future, then, well, there's only really one direction open for you, and this is to go back into the past. And you can do this on many different levels. You can retreat there, you can activate old unpleasant habits, or you can try to rekindle and reestablish old relationships that you may feel have kept you somewhat focused and secure in your life hitherto. But you can also go back in the past simply by allowing yourself to examine old memories and old wounds and hurts, and also, well, perhaps fond remembrances and other memories that you actually have a close and, well, heartfelt attachment to. All of these things, you can go back and allow yourself to see them from the vantage point of someone who has moved past them. This might be a little challenging at first when you feel overwhelmed by these emotions, but you will then realize that not only have you moved past them in time, you have also moved past them in energy. These things are no longer present in your life because these things are no longer in resonance with you. And so when things no longer resonate with you, they automatically disappear from your experience. And so find solace in these words, that things disappear when you no longer vibrate with them. We are aware, understanding the dimensions as we do, that in this spectrum of experience in which you are unfolded or structured, there is a certain lag where you find dissonance apparent in your mind and in your emotional body in particular, before they actually phase out of your experience. And so there is a test of, well, your patience, your understanding, and your sense of hope, your trust in yourself and in the future, that things will arrive in your experience that are meant to be, and that will vibrate with the things that you have been aligning with and that have brought you into dissonance with the things that no longer vibrate with you. So there's always a dual movement. You cannot really get stuck. When the past seems to impede you, it is because it's driving you into the future in another way. but it may very well be driving you into the future with your back turned against the past. And for this time of year, that's not necessarily a bad attitude. So before you turn your gaze fully towards 2022, and well, we are reminding our friend here, and he is reminding us that we should also bring some updates on the yearly energies that you can expect. But before you turn your gaze here, and before we begin to instruct you on this, it would be helpful for you to go back and look at the changes that 2021 has brought you. So if you keep a journal, maybe reread it. If there is certain information that you have been tracking, books you have been reading, courses you have been taking, videos you have been watching, certain creators you have been into, well, maybe retrace the steps of what this did for you in this past year, how you have moved in accord with your examination of these new experiences. Because when you take stock of this, you will notice that for the overwhelming majority of the people we are addressing here, you have been experiencing an influx of transformational energy this year that has really shifted you in a lot of ways. And of course, you have been very engaged in this process, and we can also say the societal circumstances or those chaotic and insecure states of feeling pent up, well, they have been very conducive to letting go of, let's say, material circumstances or practical reality, and then moving more into an exploration of your inner transformative nature, an inquiry into who you really are and who you really want to be. But it's also natural then that the practical dimensions are still placed where you left them. So while you have been busy doing all this internal change, things may very well still be in a place where they actually frustrate you. And these practical circumstances, they may actually also have been an encouragement or simply an occasion or a reason for you to begin to explore your inner reality. That is, for most of spiritually inclined people, there is also an element of dissatisfaction with the material world and mundane reality that drives them into the exploration of, let's say, non-physical states of higher vibrational order. And we are so happy to share this with you. And we are expressing our deepest gratitude that you connect to these energies, that you integrate them, that you bring them into your life, and that you are willing to change and transform from them. But what is very useful for you to remind yourself of at this point is that these energies, they also can assist you in your practical issues. So you have built up a high vibration, and now you can actually focus vibrationally on solving your problems. That is, if you feel, whether you are inclined to imagine this as a pitch, as a color or intensity, or as an bubbly emotion of joy and excitement, well, you can actually just apply and transmit this emotion to whatever you are facing. So sense the vibration, the color, the pitch of the problem you are facing. Sense how this is slightly out of tune, and then transmit this higher vibration to it. And there see how this changes. See how this becomes something that grows and that allows for you to access it in different ways. And here you will then discover how, well, these blocks from the past, they are actually stepping stones that you can, so you can dismantle that wall that the past places in front of you, and you can use it to, well, lay your bricks to progress, or to use these stepping stones to climb forward and upwards into the future. There is no going back in this realm. And so whatever past you may be activating, is for you to carry forward and onward. Therefore, also be selective in which things you wish to transmit intention, energy to, that you want to reappraise and cherish again, restructure, transform, and bring forward, and which things are perhaps best relegated to that treasure trove of other memories that you can examine some day when life flashes before your eyes, but that don't necessarily serve you anymore in these moments. So the energies of December are very opening. They are very conducive to the expansion of human spirit, and you're moving into a very expansive year. So notice that, well, the best way to make way for expansion, that is the best way to make sure you can move into a new house, is to make sure that everything has been cleaned out of it and only the things that are necessary still remain, and that you have, well, made sure that this building is now something that you understand the foundation, the structural integrity, and perhaps even the roof and the attic and those hidden spaces. You know every corner and crevice of this house. And so now you are ready to move out what needs to be moved out, ready to rearrange what needs to be rearranged, and ready to take in what needs to be taken in. So have fun constructing this house that you will live in the future, and making sure that it's ready for you to do a New Year celebration in it, because New Year is coming, and the equinox, or the solstice, we believe it is called, will soon be upon you, and their changes will again occur that you will have to roll with and grow from. Therefore, I, Umblam of the Arcturian Council, with all of the Arcturian Council, all of our galactic brethren, we transmit our deepest love from the higher realms down into this moment, this miracle of existence that is you. Our love, peace. Gotta love the Arcturians. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Much love out there.